Before we begin, I hope you, dear viewers and listeners, forgive us for any grammatical and language mistakes made in this talk. Even though we want to try our best to perfect it, what's most important for us is to get the message across. So we try not to be held back by the fear of making some mistakes. Thank you for your understanding. Now, let's jump right in. For today's episode of the Lessons Learned, our special guest is one of my favorite people in the world. She's a Harvard MBA graduate who is now working full-time at Google. And today she will be sharing a lot of great tips that you can definitely apply for your career advancement, for your study abroad opportunities, and for your personal development journey. And this is พี่นิชาค่ะ Ladies and gentlemen, please give a warm welcome to พี่นิชาค่ะ
Thank you, Kana, for inviting me to join this program. So I'm Ni, or NichaWong Suphasawat. I finished my BBA, my undergrad in BBA July, and then I worked as a management consultant at Bain & Company for 3 years. And then I came to the US for my MBA at Harvard Business School, and I just graduated last year, the COVID year basically, and then start working at Google in the US in the strategy team.
Ooh. I'm pretty sure that some of the viewers watching this right now probably feel like เฮ้ยทำไมหน้าคุ้นๆน่ะ like I feel like I've seen you somewhere because actually you also like have a page and YouTube channels called NichaWong ใช่ไหมคะ
Yes, exactly. Basically my name, NichaWong.
Okay.
So yeah, as Kana mentioned, I also have YouTube channel and Facebook page called NichaWong. It's all about like education, career, and lifestyle. Basically like แนะแนว stuff for เรื่องการเรียนต่อ and also like อาชีพการทำงาน interview สมัครงาน job application and everything. I actually started this during COVID last year because I have nothing to do when I was waiting to start working. So that's why I decided to start this channel. And I managed to make it sustainable for my life to also while working and also do this YouTube video. So that's why I still continue to do it until now. Yeah.
I'm personally a loyal subscriber, I should say, to your channel. So I've been watching a lot of your videos. You know, it's really helpful, especially for someone who just graduated, especially, and deciding like, should I go for studying abroad or for master degree, which path should I be walking, and you know, to get experience from people, you know, in different fields help us a lot. I think first of all, you just graduated, right, from Harvard Business School. So this gotta be like a mandatory classic question of how does one get into Harvard, or how can someone get to, is there anything like, this is what it takes to get into Harvard Business School?
Typically what I would answer is there's like an application requirement and you just follow that. You know, there's always a classic, like you need a score, a good score, good GPA, good recommendation letter from your employer, and you need a good essay. And all of that, to get like all that good thing, I think you need to have like a strong determination, and you need to know yourself, like do a lot of self-reflection and know what you want, where you want to be, and why MBA or like any master degree will help you. And you just like reflect that into the essay, write it out, make it clear, and make it like a really strong reason why you need to get there, and make the admission committee believe in your reason, and then they might let you in. Yeah, that's how it works.
Oh, I see. So it can't just be like, hey, I think it's gonna be a good opportunity for me, but like I don't really know why, but like I have time, so like I'm here, so they're definitely not gonna consider you, right?
Yeah, so they're looking for someone who is really clear on what you want to gain out of this like 1 or 2 year experience, because it's although it seems long, like 1 to 2 years, like a long time, but actually when you already come here, it's time flies so fast, and you need to be really focused on what you want to do. So they want someone who can like really optimize their time here. So have a clear goal and everything. And at the same time, learning here, like the learning method here is called like case discussion. So it's a lot of discussion, sharing experience among the students. So they want someone who has some experience that can be shared in the class. So they're looking at your profile and make sure that the profile of their whole classroom is diverse enough so everyone can learn from each other.
Ah, I see. So not just you don't just go there to learn from the professors and from the books and everything, but really essentially to learn from one another.
Yes, it's give and take.
That's
that's how it
amazing.
works.
That's amazing. Oh, can we like just get like a little bit of sneak peek?
Yeah,
what
yeah.
what are the things that you say to like, hey, this is my case. I have a strong determination to get in here. Can we get like a little bit of sneak peek of your version of it?
So as I say, like the application material has a lot of things, and there's like GPA, resume, and those kind of thing, and there's like the essay. So different people has different strategy. My strategy is that my resume and GPA already show that I have like strong analytical skill or problem solving and did like some leadership or achievement stuff. So in my essay, I want to convey something that didn't show in resume or my GPA. I want to talk about how I see like life, what experience I have been through and what I have reflect on myself and how does that allow me to be who I am today and where I want to be in the future. So I just talk about like what I've been through when I was young and how did my perspective to the world has changed and up until now, what is the summary and why Harvard Business School is the right next step for me so that I can get to another milestone that I want to be. So that's how it works.
Oh, so it's sometimes people say like, hey, you should keep it professional. Like you shouldn't get too personal. But in your case, and I'm sure a lot of many case as well, it's sometimes going on a personal level and see how you view your future achievement would be very nice as well. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Most people will focus on professional experience, which is fine. Like a lot of people wrote about like, okay, I did this achievement at work, I've learned a lot, and then I got interested in this, so I want to be this kind of role in the future, and MBA will help me. That's like a classic one. Mine has that part, but more focused on like personal part, on like reflecting on my life. This is not what I want. This is not who I want to be. Something like that. So yeah, but it's like personal growth or professional growth. That's like the theme of the essay. Depend on style. I think it's really
yeah,
vary.
right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and like when we at HBS, we also have like this essay sharing session. So it's like optional for some people who want to share. And then I got together with like a small group of friends and then we just read our essay out loud for each other to hear. So it's really interesting experience and like really different style. Someone is like just like watching a movie, like some people are like a founder of like a startup. So they talk about how they start their company from scratch to like winning a lot of award, getting into a competition, whatever. It's really cool like watching movies. So yeah, many style to write. Don't stick to one. Just pick the one that you think is represent you well. Yeah.
So there's no like, this is the only structure you should go for if you're writing your own essay.
No. No.
Amazing,
Yeah.
amazing. Now going back to resume a little bit about because you did this video about like resume writing tips, and I absolutely love it. So I hope that you maybe can share some like some like a few tips in English, of course, if someone is going to apply for a job or study abroad program, what they should know, maybe like a few essential tips that they should know in writing a resume. or a killer resume?
Yeah, sure. I think the key thing is okay, you need to know the format and everything. Just make it like professional, or if you want to make it like fancy or like artwork, you need to make sure that you're in like artistic industry. Like if you're applying for a designer position, yeah, make sure your resume is like super outstanding. But if you're applying for like business position, something that need like professional thing, then you need to be okay having a standard format of like just text, don't have to be like nice graphic and everything. I think that's first thing that people are super unsure about, but actually having just text is fine because how it works is the HR for each company or even their school, they will scan your resume into a system and it will go into the database or Excel and the computer will read best if it's just text and not like a picture or like fancy graphic. So that's why. Yeah. That's the format stuff. And I think the content, for the content, I think the key that people always miss out is that they just use one resume for everything. For every job they apply to or for any school that they apply to, but it doesn't work that way. For example, if you are like an engineering student, but you want to apply for like marketing job, which you can change the career, right? But you shouldn't like have the same resume that applying for engineering job to be applied for marketing job because the experience will all be like, okay, I know this technical stuff in the factory or those kind of thing, and then the marketer, like the marketing company, will be like, why, why this guy, something like that. So please make sure you tailor your resume to the job you want to apply for, and make sure that you bring out your experience, like working experience or just activity at school, to be the one that's relevant to that job. So that's the content.
Oh,
Yeah.
amazing. I remember when I was like when I was about to graduate, and also like I have received this advice from my ajahn. They say to have like a big like chunk of information of the work experience that you do, and then you're gonna do a resume or cover letter for any job. Just pick like not all of them, but like some of the things that are relevant, and also choose which side of it that you wanna, like one job, but then you want to write the description in this way, right?
Yes.
To best fit the job.
Yeah, exactly. Like one experience, one internship, you've been through many things in one event. So just pick the skill or pick the task or action or whatever you have done that's related to the job you want to apply for. Yes. And the way to write it is make sure that if it's in English, so make sure you use like past tense, like those classic stuff. Make sure your grammar is correct. And then make sure to add impact of what you have done, not just explaining that I did this, but I don't know what is the result. It's really important to have the result so that they believe that, okay, you have done this. And in the interview, if you got an interview from them, then they will ask about this, and then you can talk about, oh, this is what I have done, and this is what what we achieved because my action, something like that.
Oh, yes, most definitely. I really want like every people just graduated to watch this interview. I really wish I had this advice. Seriously. Now, going back to Harvard a little bit, how does a day look like, or what is a typical life of a Harvard Business School student? Is everyone like insanely productive? Like how does it work?
Yeah. I think what people imagine in their head is like, oh, this Harvard student, they must be in library every day and like reading textbook and stuff, right? Yeah, I think when I was young, I imagined that. I have that picture of like Harvard student, but to be honest, I can tell you it's not like that. We study
No.
hard, like compared to like other MBA. I think we read a lot of case just because uh, our study method is like case discussion, so we need to read case every day. But so let me explain my day in a life. So typically in a day, like weekday, we will have like 2 to 3 class, and one class is like an hour and a half, not more than that. So sometimes start at 8, sometimes start at 10, depends. So let's say I finish class maybe at noon or early afternoon. Then I will have the whole afternoon, evening, and night left, and I can choose whatever I want to do. Sometimes I just go back home and take a nap.
Productive thing.
Productive day. Yeah, so I really need to sleep. If not, I will be like in a grumpy mood and cannot do much. So I typically take a nap in the afternoon, and sometimes wake up and have like some coffee chat with my friends. So we did a lot of coffee chat at Harvard Business School. Just we have like 900 people in our class, and to get to know people, like do networking and learn from each other, or even do like recruiting, then we need to do like coffee chat, like one-on-one to get to know each other. Or sometimes I just use the time in my afternoon or evening to like have a meeting with my friends, doing some like club or activity stuff, just similar to like Thai University. We did like activity stuff, you know. So sometimes we have that, and then after dinner, sometimes I read case, or sometimes I already read in the afternoon, or sometimes I just don't read the case. And I just go party.
I'm not gonna tell
have
anyone.
fun with my friends. Yeah, so it depends how you want to prioritize. There's so many things you can do in a day, because like at a single point in time there's like 10 events happening in school, and you need to pick what do you want to do. But yeah, so I think that's go back to why they want someone who really want to focus on where they want to go, because everything happening at the same time.
Wow, that still looks productive to me. Especially taking a nap part is like very
I know,
essential.
yeah.
Now we get to talk, and of course to be able to know Pini and get a chat with you, it feels like you're like, hey, you're just like me, and then you, of course, you
Yeah.
really put a lot of effort into what you do, and then essentially you just reach a goal, right? When I was younger, and even until now, of course, sometimes we feel like we're so far away from people who went to Harvard, who went to Google, blah, 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 and we feel like, oh, I would never be able to be like Pini.
Yes,
But now
I was
sitting
just like
down
that.
with you, it's just, so thank you for joining us today so that people get to know
Of course,
you.
of course. Yeah, I would love. Yeah, I think part of the reason why I started this channel is also this thing that you mentioned. I was that girl as well who's like, oh, this is too far to reach. This is this is impossible. I would never be there, but because I'm already there, so I want to share that it's possible. Like if you have a dream, just like have like strong determination, plan ahead and do stuff, and then you get here. And even if you not get here, it doesn't mean anything. Like Harvard is just Harvard. It's a good school, but if you don't go to Harvard, so what? There's a lot of people who don't go to Harvard and be successful, and other school is good as well.
Amazing. All right. Is there anything that you would like to share that you think is the most valuable lessons about, studying or learning at Harvard? Or maybe just being around people at Harvard?
There's so many things I have learned. So like basically, yeah, there's so many things I have learned, because like this is my first time living like out of Thailand. Yeah, and living alone.
Ooh.
Yeah. So
A lot
yeah,
to adjust,
you
yeah?
went to India, right? Yeah, so I've been
Yes.
living in Thailand, studying in Thailand, working in Thailand. So this is my first time out of home. So I've
Oh.
definitely learned a lot, met a lot of people, and most learning are about like business ideas and stuff. But I think another thing that after meeting like all these different people from different part of the world, I think one thing that I learned that I think is really important is like to live a meaningful life. So I feel like people who came here, like sharing their essay and stuff, they have passion about something, and seems like they're not just live in this world just to stay alive and do something, but it's like they have a mission, they have a passion, they're passionate about something, and they really want to make an impact in those kind of area. For example, some people are really passionate about healthcare. They want to change the way healthcare system work in the US, and they're so into it. Like every time we talk to them, they'll be like, "Oh, you know what? I got this new idea and stuff." And seeing these people really inspiring. It made me think back and like, what about me? Like, why do I exist? Like, what? Like, what do I want to do in the long run? Something like that. Which I think a lot of people like me, we still have no like one clear answer, and I think it's totally fine. It's like a lifelong journey for you to like explore yourself, but it's also good to continuously reflect on yourself, on where you want to be, and like what you really want to do. What are one thing you want to do before you left the world? What are one thing that you want the world to remember you? Something like that. So I still reflect on that. But one thing I want to do is like on helping on education, and that's also partly why I started this YouTube channel. Just want to make sure that like all these tips and tricks that there's so many like foreign YouTubers share in English, I want to make it in Thai, so that Thai people have like the same media, same education as well. And this is like the first area that I can do. So just start simple, and I was free anyway. So yeah, this is one area I want to help, and I'm still continuing to explore where else I want to do. Yeah.
Now you're doing the interview for people, help with the education. I think we share the purpose as well, and sometimes it seems very ambitious, and you think to yourself and you start doubting yourself. Like I have like the goals of like trying to contribute and maybe make a small change in any way I can with the education in Thailand. And at first I laughed at my own goals and was like, what you gonna do, girl? Like, but as I explore this journey, just like you said, starting interview like this, talking with people like you, and and I feel like it's helped some people, start inspiring them and get them to, becomes ambitious and to live, like you said, a meaningful life. Yeah, so set the goal first, I think, no matter how ambitious it is.
Yeah, no, totally agree, and I think you did a great job, Kana. So I really enjoy your video. I've learned from 1 minute this or that. And I'm sure a lot of like nong or even like my age, yeah, I'm older than you, I'm still learning from you. So you really did a great job make English like fun for everyone. So thank you for that.
Oh, Penny, let's get married. So now moving on to Google experience working at Google, right? So I have to say again, just like again, when I was younger, or even until now actually, but every kid of my age, especially during college or during high school, usually it's our dream to be able to work at Google, and especially when we get the news or we learn that people at Google get this like fancy office and cool working, free lunch, like refreshment non-stop, and it's always a dream, and also the work culture that they have, or what we see or what we perceive a very thriving organizations like Google can be. So it's you can say that it's everybody's dream job somehow. So I probably had to ask this of how did you land a job at Google?
So if I answer the same concept, just apply. For some people, they think that they will never get in, so they never apply. I was just like that too. For example, at first I didn't plan to apply for Harvard or apply for Google because I never think I would get in. So like waste of my time, right?
Oh.
But at the end, I decided, okay, why not just apply. The worst thing that happened is you didn't get in, and well, surprisingly, I finally got here. So I think that's what learning as well. I think a lot of people are like me. Don't apply just because you think you never get in, but you never know until you try. So yeah, please apply. And I think for me, I never know that I can get into Google because I think it's like a dream company for many people, but I know that for most of the role that are opening are like engineer, and I am like a business person. I study MBA and everything, so I didn't know that there would be a role for me. I know there's like a business team, but like I didn't know that there would be something for me. And I think just because coming here and then I start to I have Google on my list of the company that I want to recruit for, and then I just like did some research, basically just search on Google on like what are the job opening, and luckily there's this team that's looking for ex-management consultant to be working in a strategy team for Google, which I have an experience in management consulting for 3 years before MBA. So perfect. This is like meet the requirement, and that's why I applied for this role. And I got lucky enough to be one of the resume that they picked and called me for an interview. So I think the most difficult part of the recruiting process is to get called for the interview, to get the recruiter to see your resume and want to talk to you. And that is by luck or by referral, by networking. That really depends. For me, it's by luck. And then for the interview process, they test a lot of things. Like they want to test for your passion for technology, passion for Google, and also your ability to solve problem, like the problem solving skill. So there's like a format like case interview and the typical question that they ask. So I practice a lot, like practice with my friends and the career coach at school. And eventually, as I say, I'm not genius. I just have strong determination. So practice make almost perfect, not perfect. And I think that's how I got in.
Oh, that's amazing. So I really like that you said, and I realize that there are many times that I share these thoughts with you as well. And I think the best question to ask yourself before doubting whether or not you're gonna go for something like applying to a job at Google or something like that is to ask questions just like you said. What's the worst that could happen? Like the worst is not getting a job, right? And so what? So just
fine,
apply
yeah.
it. Yeah.
It's
Because you
neutral.
never know. Okay. For you, I think there's one thing that I really curious about. You're doing so many things, right? You're of course you're working at Google full time, and now you're setting aside time for YouTube channels, Facebook page as well. Was there any sort of like a learning time for you, like set aside time for you, maybe on a daily basis or weekly basis, that okay, this is a time that I will dedicate to learning something new, or like I read new books? Was there sort of like learning habits or learning activities that you do?
I wish. I wish I have that. I think some people really do have, like I think like some of my friends from Harvard, they really like dedicate time to like read news, or like for example, my boyfriend, for example, he really like to take online course. So I think different people has different style of learning. For me, I learn best when I do stuff. So that's why I keep adding on stuff on my plate and set goal and make sure that I have to deliver. If I have full-time job, I have to deliver work. Then I need to do my best to deliver that, and then I learn from that. if I now have YouTube channel, which I'm learning from them a lot, I treat this as like my entrepreneurial project, like learning like analytics stuff, who's post, whatever. And yeah, so now I treat it as my business and I promise myself to upload the video every week. So it's like forcing myself to do stuff. And I still have more time to actually like trying to learn something, and I now need to think about what kind of project I want to put more on my plate so that I can learn more.
It is indeed. This is like a digital high five right here. So, yay. Wow, I have learned just so many things today. And also, again, I wrote down so many quotes from you, and just like it has become like the lessons learned culture now, that whatever you talked about, I will be writing your quotes and then I'll put it on my wall just to remind myself to be cool like you. Yeah, that's what I usually
No,
do
not
for
that
every
cool.
speaker.
I would love to get Kana quote as well.
Oh, really? Yeah, it was such a privilege to be interviewed by you back then. Now I'm to be interviewing you. Yeah, the thing that I have from you definitely is the word like I'm not a genius, but I just have a strong determination. She said that. Quote unquote. P. Nisha. Okay, yeah, so I could say that this is probably one of my favorite episodes so far. So thank you so much again for joining us today.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. And I really hope our dear viewers and listeners are enjoying this episode as well. So what are some of the lessons you have learned for today? So let's share with us. So Pini, and for both of us, we are gonna look at your comment down below. So let us know. And if you like this episode, please share this with your friends and your family as well, so that they can learn and develop themselves together along with both of us. So yeah, สุดท้ายนี้เดี๋ยวฝากพี่นิฝากช่องทางการติดตามค่ะตอนนี้ทุกคนติดใจมากกรี๊ดมากจะติดตามพี่นิได้ที่ไหนบ้างคะ How can they go follow you?
Okay, sure. So yes, thank you so much, Kana, for like this program. I think it's really like good concept of like lesson learn and stuff, and like you not just learn about life experience, but you learn English as well. So it's really fun. Like ยิงปืนนัดเดียวได้นก2 ตัว you know. So it's really cool stuff. And like so for people who are interested to follow me, so please feel free to follow your YouTube channel, NichaWong, my name, NichaWong, just like what's show here under the description, whatever.
I will say like ding 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 ding.
Yes. Yes, and also Facebook page and Instagram. And if you have like any like question or like anything, feel free to message me. Like I answer everyone every day. Anything about like winter or like applying for a job or just midlife crisis, quarter life crisis, เด็กจบใหม่ crisis, whatever. Just feel free to like message me.
Yay! Amazing. Anything else like a last a message, final message for people, of course, inspired by your talk today and wanting to pursue or start, pursuing their dreams or just like you said, to live a more meaningful life?
Yeah, sure. So I think, for everyone, don't afraid to dream and don't afraid to like aim high for something, because the worst thing that could happen is you don't get it and it's fine. Your life is just the same. It's not negative. You just waste your time, but those time that you have wasted is the learning that you have learned, and you become like a stronger person. Like I think for everyone who is like a successful people, like person in life that you see or you have admired, everyone has been through like their own journey, and they failed before and they learned before, and then they improve themselves, and then they become successful in your definition. And just so don't afraid to dream. And it's also important to take time to reflect on yourself, to know where you are, to know what have you learned, and to know what else you should learn to get to the next step of your life. And if you think you're lonely or you don't know where to go, look around you. Like that's like your friend, your family, like people like Kana or people like me who like just trying to share and like really want to help, so just look out for people. There will be someone who can really help you and like give you กำลังใจ or like give you advice. You're not living alone in this world. You have so many people, and once you dream for something, aim for that, go for that, and เป็นกำลังใจให้ทุกคนนะคะ
เย้โอ้ยจบยังไงให้เหมือนนางสาวไทยอ่ะ
เนาะมงลง
ใส่สะพายต้องมาค่ะทุกอย่างต้องมาเย้
สวยจังเลย
สวยมาก Okay, thank you so much ค่ะ everyone. So please again go follow, subscribe to พี่นินะคะ and that's it for today. Bye.